Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. LCK 2019 Summer. It's game number 2 time between DAMWON Gaming and Genji, and we have a bit of a surprise. The 4th mid laner is now in for Genji. Roach is going to be our next substitution. No other subs going to happen, and there is a little bit of a backstory here. Roach and CuVee have been playing solo queue together a lot over the last week, so maybe it's the top mid synergy that we're looking for. Are you okay?
They had a fly problem. Now they have a roach problem.
I'd prefer a rich problem. That sounds much better. And I don't really know what a Kuzan problem actually looks like. Maybe he picks too much Lucian. I'm not entirely sure. Certainly has been a big pick for him. But we do have some statistics to share with you. Roach has been playing a hell of a lot over the last 7 days. He has a 17-2 record on Qiyana. 17-2.
Why did he lose twice?
Well, I don't know. Obviously bad teammates. Come on. Maybe his teammates didn't freeze when they were supposed to.
Good teammates is why he won 17 times. Sorry.
Well, maybe. Maybe
No,
maybe that's what it is. He averages about 9 kills a game.
Okay.
On the Qiyana as well, which ain't bad.
But
it's not too bad.
His KDA was 2.5.
I know, he dies a lot.
He does.
But that's exactly what Qiyana does. She runs in, murders someone, and dies. And that seems to be the playstyle that he's been rocking.
Well, let's see if DAMWON Gaming...
They're going to press the ban Qiyana button, I think, eventually, as Genji copping a lot of 80 carry bans. Last time around, it was Zaya as the first 2.
Will they first pick Qiyana if DAMWON doesn't ban it? Or have DAMWON done their homework?
I think that a Qiyana ban could be coming in here. Unless ShowMaker's like,
oh, man.
I don't care.
Do it.
I can
just take it.
Are they going to first pick Qiyana? Maybe they do. Maybe they just lock it away. Get Roach onto comfort. Okay. Aatrox has been a very big one, and denying that from Nuguri sounds like a decent idea, especially when the flex between himself and ShowMaker is so simple, as demonstrated in game number 1. They are going to take away the Aatrox. DAMWON, do you pick away the Qiyana?
Well, Sejuani now being hovered by DAMWON. And Irelia is open, by the way. We don't get to see her all that much.
We really don't. I think it's Soan is our last Irelia player. This is the last bastion of Irelia hope. That's what it feels like. Peanut, thinking about going back to the Silas one more time. Did manage to lock down first blood in game number 1. Not sure whether it's exactly what they want to be doing, but now that he has an Aatrox to gank for instead of a gangplank up towards the top side, could be a good thing. Is big smile on Peanut's face. Good to see that he's happy. As that's a Tristana.
Ooh.
Oh, where would it be going?
Yeah, I'm very disappointed we never got to see all that much of it.
I know.
It's very, very feels bad, man. As Callista has now been picked up.
And this was the Genji crutch that they used to get those wins in the middle of this season. It was Ruler on a Callista that could dominate the mid game. Otherwise, Genji found themselves in awkward positions in the mid game, much like they did in game number 1. This is how they really learned to dominate and get themselves on the front foot. So
right.
I'm glad that they went back to something that has worked. As DAMWON are going to take the secondary Irelia option, what feels like the Korean Irelia in the Camille. ShowMaker going to lock that one away, and of course it's another flex between the 2 solo lanes of DAMWON.
Klepto, Camille up there for Nuguri against the Aatrox, but the thing I'm questioning is, can you still weave in the Qiyana, given that you have a Callista, you have an Aatrox that's already a massive amount of physical. Silas, he does do his fair bit of damage, but I am wondering if they do need to diversify up their damage a little more, as Renekton now being banned away.
Yeah, trying to protect CuVee's matchup towards the top side, as it's likely that he's going to be playing the Aatrox. Of course, with Roach subbing in, it's really interesting because Roach now has an entire top champion pool to look at, so we do have a very real Aatrox flex, much like DAMWON was able to do. Vladimir going to be taken away by DAMWON, which is odd, because Nuguri is, of course, our resident Emomancer. Alistair going to be taken away from BeryL, just a solid ban against a player that's really good at the cow. And once again, the Kiana left available. Do we get a high damage support? As Aurelia is going to be taken as well. That is a lot.
There it is.
You were talking about physical damage, and DAMWON have a lot. You could imagine Nuclear is going to be going down the Manamune route, building something like a Morellonomicon item 5.
What?
Like we saw from Sangyun, as the AP Kai'Sa does certainly give you the ability to bridge, as this could be support Poppy, which paired with the Kalista would be super sick. Okay, Poppy going to be picked up, and if it was Fly still playing, I'd be saying, oh, mid lane, there we go, the mid lane Poppy. Actually,
it might be
it still
mid.
should be mid, right? Because there's an Aurelia.
It could be mid Poppy, or it could be jungle Poppy.
Well, do you know what Poppy does? Poppy ruins the day of literally every champion DAMWON has picked.
Yeah. So this could actually be
anything Poppy. Poppy could go anywhere.
Where's Poppy gonna go?
DAMWON needs to pick Yuumi now, so that you could have Poppy in any lane and it's a counter.
Ooh, Pyke.
Also screwed by Poppy.
Pyke is very scary though. The new change,
that's
where
true.
He can give
that's a lot of money.
3 kills. Yeah, that's not very balanced.
No, that's not the word that I would have used to describe what that is.
It's definitely interesting. Okay, it looks like these are going to be the final team compositions for both parties. You lied to me. You led me and the audience up to believe.
Oh, no. There is
Kiana.
Ooh, went to every DAMWON match in 2019 and got an award from DAMWON. That's cool. That award right there is actually from DAMWON Gaming.
What's the award? Do we know?
I don't know. As okay, CuVee is going to be playing the Poppy. Could have switched at 20 seconds in, but decides that it is going to be the Poppy on the top side of the map. Of course, just a wealth of steadfast presence value in every single lane. I love it. Korea has been very slow to pick up the hammer-wielding Yordle on the top side of the map, and I'm really glad that it comes in. A little bit ironic that it's picked when Fly is subbed out. But that's okay. I'll take any Poppy I can get. I've been a Vizichachi fan since 2014.
Well, let's take a look on the flip side of the other team composition. Talk about what it's trying to do. Pyke, Kai'Sa, Aurelia, Sejuani, and then at the very top right there, you have the Camille. So this is all physical damage. Sejuani does deal magic. Maybe Nuclear will take on the mantle of AP Kai'Sa. That's what I'm suspecting.
You'd hope so.
This team comp needs to go lane.
Well, we'll see whether they can as we get into game 2. Well, DAMWON fans, pretty loud. We are over on the DAMWON side of Lowell Park here at the English caster desk as CuVee, adorable Christmas Poppy skin.
Do you like that skin?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not Lollipoppy. That's all I care about.
What's wrong with Lollipoppy?
It's terrifying. You know how we're gonna go see it, the remake?
Yes.
When it comes out? I'd be more scared of Lollipoppy than Pennywise. Do you remember old Lollipoppy splash art?
Oh, that...
It is actually the most scary thing in League of Legends.
And
we have, like, actual, like, gentleman skeletons, you know, that are, like, wraith-like walking around the jungle that you're a big fan of and things like that. That's, like, legit scary, but nothing compared to Lollipoppy.
I have heard that that old splash art would actually scare rabies.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
You know, it was a cure.
Yeah, in fact, a zombie would be scared of that skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not taking a bite out of that.
Nope, hell no. Even if it has lollipops. Oh.
Ooh.
Ridiculous.
What do you think was the flavor of Lollipoppy's lollipop?
Oh, also, we forgot to talk about the fact that there is a support Jarvan in this game.
Changing the subject. All right. Don't worry, I won't forget it.
Okay.
It was strawberry.
Okay, thanks. Good to know. Good to know. I'm just trying to come to terms with this. Spirit was the guy that really did like the support Jarvan.
Ooh, yes, he was.
He was that was his thing for the Afrika Freaks when they were playing Spirit in about any role they could put him in.
Disappeared.
Yeah, we haven't seen very much of him, have we?
That's really strange.
It's not, because Dread's been playing well, man.
Yeah,
sort of what happens.
There's been no murmuring of him at all.
We'll have to have a chat to him
Yeah, wonder what's happening there. But meanwhile, up in top lane, you know, I'm really excited to see Poppy.
Me too.
I really am. I feel like this is a champion I've talked about in several patch rundowns even that I've done.
I think she's just ready to be
neglected.
picked. Yeah,
by pro teams all around the world. She's able to go mid, top, jungle, and support. That's fantastic.
And also would have been fantastic in any of those roles this game. It's really interesting. And I also think that based on the composition that Genji had, they had the flexibility to put a lot of things in a lot of different positions, as Nuguri wall-banged, as our good friend Ejim from back in the Oceanic region would say. He was a support Poppy aficionado. Did like talking about that one. As another one.
Another angle, yeah.
Yeah. Nuguri going to trade back there, and actually trades back very, very effectively. He's eaten through all of his corrupting potion charges. CuVee is the same outlook. But there are biscuits. Biscuits here picked up. Oh, wow. That's a lot of damage from Peanut. With the smite. As Nuguri takes control back of this lane. He's only a couple of creeps ahead, though, and CuVee is going to be able to even that one out at worst after this.
Nuguri is just doing a pretty good job, though, given the matchup. He's going to be able to get this crash off soon.
And it's an interesting matchup. Can you sort of describe how this ebbs and flows as far as who's going to have the power and when? Is there a point where Poppy just gets too strong? Or too tanky?
Poppy's whole purpose inside of this is obviously going to be team fighting in the later stages of the game, because the ability to interrupt all of these dashes on the side of DAMWON. But in particular for the matchup, the Camille can have some trouble post-first recall. And then Camille, she's still Camille in the later stages of the game, so depending on how the trades do end up taking place is going to be important. But Poppy's always going to be able to not bleed out to a split push by any means.
All right, BeryL taking some damage there as Ruler flexing his muscles. Sorry, you may go back to your point.
That's right. He's flexing his muscles. You're gonna talk about that. Yeah, you're gonna let him, let him do his thing. As they're baiting right now.
Yeah, CuVee not going to get the stun. Peanut doesn't find the abscond, but still gets the flash. I'm not sure whether he was going to have a long enough reach with the chains to get to Nuguri, but they still managed to get that summoner spell. Successful gank from Peanut.
Poppy is a fantastic champion. Now, managed to retain the flash. So that's something that might come into play a couple of moments from now. Life and Ruler, they could go for a cheater recall right here.
They would like to. Currently not looking at it. Infernal Drake is going to be our first spawn. Very
That's a big one.
From game number 1, where we did have one Mountain Drake and then a whole lot of Cloudy Day after that. And Ruler and Life, you were mentioning going for a cheater recall, but they were thinking about possibly going for a bit of a gank brush, as BeryL is going to poke his nose in. Fly not going to throw a flag at him or anything like that.
So the thing about the cheater recall and why it would be interesting, and for those unfamiliar with the term, it would just be cheating a recall out due to the size of the crashed wave. BeryL and Nuclear would still have to approach this cannon wave the same that they were just doing the last 15-20 seconds, because they can't play around the fog of war of Genji. And so Genji, they're recalled, whereas BeryL and Nuclear maybe think that they're getting set up for something. So they play it very cautiously, they slow push into the opponents, and then Life and Ruler come off a recall, and things are disastrous.
Well, Canyon and Peanut have found each other here as Peanut is brawling. Stun comes out with the permafrost here as deep water dive from BeryL, but they are trying to punish. Ruler will be able to get it, and no, it's stolen away by Life, but still, first blood to GenG.
That's a really big first blood, too, especially down in the bottom lane. You want to get the Callista rolling.
And putting the Pyke down is fantastic news as well. Sort of doing double the value. BeryL desperately wanting to get to that level 6. As far as supports are concerned, I mean, Pyke doesn't feel like a champion until he's able to deliver all of those bounties over to his teammates, and he can't do that without the ult. So no death from below going to be coming in. Very, short death time at the moment, so makes his way back to lane pretty quickly, and he's going to be able to get some vision down. Haven't had a look in the mid lane all too much here as we check in now. ShowMaker pretty good at keeping a CS advantage, as he has the Ionian Fervor stacked up what feels like permanently when he plays the Aurelia. As CuVee and Nuguri still just duking it out. Farmy Cinder done by CuVee, who wants to just hang it around in this lane as comfortably as he can. But Nuguri went back and got himself a Sheen, so his trade damage is actually going to be relatively high. Flawless Duet going to miss in the mid lane.
Canyon wants to try to set this up. CuVee is relatively healthy. Remember, he has the flash available too.
Yep, and the back is going to be completed by Canyon, so not going to be able to find too much. Peanut walking over an enemy ward as he gets toward the top side, so if Nuguri is ganked here and killed, then he has no excuses. And a cute little ward in this brush here also, as Nuguri's just trying to bait as much as he can.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, we'll see how Nuguri plays this to try and waste as much of Peanut's time as possible. This is the scary thing, but remember, CuVee's pretty tanky. There is an opportunity to dive, potentially, and that's why the Sejuani makes her way over. Remember, this is a pretty destructive gank duo also. A steadfast presence is great. That was the bait, though, as the Arctica shot was blocked as well. Peanut taking a lot of damage, though, and Nuguri trying to get some work done. The ultimate did come down, and Roach turns up. Picks up the first kill. Canyon tries to take down the Silas, eventually does, as Roach has to flash and survives. Didn't even need the Triumph proc. It could be happening. We could be going to a definite at least 6 games tonight if GenG is able to win here and then play with momentum in game number 3.
I really don't know why Canyon couldn't find the R key.
I mean, he also found the Q key a little bit too early.
That was uncharacteristically awful.
Well, it was a great knock up there as, okay, Fate's Call utilized, and this is the power of GenG on the bottom side. Oh my god.
Whoa.
This is all going wrong as ShowMaker trying to get something back here. For DAMWON, he picks up one of the kills, flashes out of the way of Roach, needs to give him that respect. And ShowMaker getting something for DAMWON, will move back to the mid lane, but it's not enough to give them a lead.
And so right now they're still down 800, but Infernal Dragon, whoever gets that is going to be sitting pretty.
DAMWON really wanting it.
Sunfire
got
Cape
a lot of scaling
on CuVee. And so now the Camille is going to be on the back foot in this lane now for quite a while, actually.
Yeah, wants to get to that Trinity Force as quickly as possible. With the amount that they're brawling, you could imagine that Nuguri does have a lot of value.
Let's
from
just
his
take a look at
this point.
So, between the... I don't know why he doesn't just throw the R. As the opening to this whole trade, Canyon should just throw the R above all else. And all of this just doesn't happen.
Yeah,
GenG would have
throws it. Yeah, he throws it very, very late, but also Arctic Assault's into a steadfast presence target. Just shows
that was
maybe lack of experience against the
Poppy.
His Fate's Call timing was fantastic here. Life even using the last bit of knock up there aggressively, which is crazy, as GenG move on over to the Infernal. It's called bad going to worse for DAMWON fans.
Does look like they're going to be able to pick it up. That is 1080 for Poppy.
Oh, hell
That's a long sword.
That's what you want. As ShowMaker is going to find Roach. Canyon, once again, just going to be lurking for now.
And another Infernal is coming up next.
Well, that's good news for DAMWON. They have an opportunity to even out the Infernal count. They want as many of them as possible. Their composition works so well with that particular Drake. GenG denying it, but also can get some value themselves, as ward over there is going to be highly valuable, as we may have BeryL dying yet again. Deepwater Dive is going to get his health back, though, and he will be all right. Peanut down here. Control ward in that brush as Roach is getting dove once again. Canyon not going to get pulled back by the Infernal Chains. Another fadeaway ultimate that isn't going to do anything there from Canyon. Having a bit of a whoopsie of a game here today on the Sejuani, as Ruler and Life are going to just bully them away from this turret. Peanut comes on in. Bone Skewer going to be thrown out, but only finds a minion. Peanut is able to abduct his way out of potential range. At least Nuclear and BeryL aren't going to get bullied away from this entire minion wave, and all of the plates aren't taken from this bottom lane, but I'm looking for good news stories. They're really hard to find.
Uh-oh.
As Peanut's not going to find the abscond there, as death from below has been picked up. Misses onto BeryL, though, and he says, I got a better one. Is going to burn down his life. Desperately wants to get out there, and there we go. Ruler just pulls him on out with the Fate's Call, and things will be fine. But that is big. BeryL giving a lot of money to his teammates.
Yeah, I believe that's 900 gold, right? So he gives 2
I
to
think
himself,
so, yeah.
and then...
I'm not sure whether Canyon was there on the assist, but I'm pretty sure he was.
Yeah.
We're going to have a look at that once again. That's the change to the Pike. Now feels a lot more explosive. And that could have been a big turnaround moment. You can see only 1,000 gold is the lead here for GenG when they were starting to snowball this lead ahead.
Let's take a look at how this all transpired. Peanut just swinging a miss right there at the end. He gets the Pike ultimate. He ended up whiffing on it. BeryL
I'm
not
actually
able
not
to do
sure
anything.
how that missed. It looked like he was in the X. But
Yeah. Well, Peanut's actually been missing on all the Silas ults. You noticed that?
yeah, he's been struggling.
Yeah.
As Nuguri going to teleport in onto the cannon creep, denies it from CuVee even. Nicely done. He's got a Trinity Force now, so he's pretty strong. He's got his free ass boots. Nice. See whether the Tiamat comes in next, because it gets to a point where it's just AoE clear versus AoE clear is what you want to be doing against the Poppy. Is moving her out of the lane becomes difficult after a few armor items have been completed, and currently he has a lot of them. Sunfire Cape, Ninja Tabi, and a cute little cloth armor. Decent topside vision here from GenG, 13 minutes and 50 seconds. Shelly not going to be getting any plates as BeryL. Deep water dive, looking for Ruler, actually turning around aggressively as he does get the stun onto Live. We don't have the Fate's Call, remember, and that is a very dead Jarvan. Rend, not enough damage to take down ShowMaker, and that was just a donation there. Thank you very much, Live.
Oh, and Peanut, he is...
BeryL still playing aggressively.
Yeah.
Does still have death from below as Ruler. Not going to be out of Fate's Call Peanut, but they could still get some damage down towards the bottom side. Pierce doing a lot of work.
The really scary thing here is going to be in a minute and a half. Who gets the next Infernal Dragon?
But the problem, oh man, the problem for me is that GenG, how are they supposed to add that extra layer of pressure that they should have been able to get on the second Infernal after getting the first, right? Like, their snowball was working, and now they've thrown away a couple of kills, and DAMWON really back in with a shot in this game.
1 minute until it ends up coming up. Sejuani, at that point, should be on the right-hand side of the map after getting her red buff. And so things are lining up for DAMWON in order to get that Nuguri. He's going to be able to crash this wave. And then he should just be able to make his way down after all of this. There's no real reason to stick around in top lane anymore. Minigame failed.
Yeah. CuVee on the ball on that one. It's a pretty difficult one to mind game. Your reaction speed has to be pretty slow not to be able to just press the W in time for the hook shot, not to get the stun. Nuclear comfortably taking down the Rift Scuttler. He's got Peanut heading up top side. That looks Canyon really top side, Peanut bottom side.
That skin is so gross.
Which one?
In a good way, by the way. The Pike skin.
I haven't actually given it a
just give it a
real
fair
look
when he does his.
I know the abilities look way cooler.
Yeah, they definitely look very interesting.
Yeah. Okay, wandering on over, will be able to clear out the vision if he wants to. Glacial Prison hijacked by Peanut. Yeah.
Oh, that's gross.
I like it.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting.
Big fan. Okay. GenG. The Dragon has spawned. DAMWON wanted to make their way over. You can see ShowMaker clearing out control vision. Nuguri has rotated in as BeryL. He's dove. They're looking to try and take down this outer turret as Peanut prisons the Pike, and he immediately falls down, but in comes DAMWON Ruler. Gonna go golden. Peanut does the same thing, but that's preparing them to just get murdered by this DAMWON roster. Roach now, alongside CuVee, is trying to get something done, but you can't be a tank if there's no backline to protect. Roach doing a lot of AoE though, as Nuclear doesn't want to be sharing pixels with Canyon right now. Nuguri there beside him. As they do turn around, head back to this Infernal Drake, and DAMWON, a great team fight will give them all the reward they wanted.
And I mean, it's a massive victory for them. It swings them into the gold lead. They reset balance to the Force in terms of the Infernal Dragons. And let's take a look at how this all transpires. Peanut, he hits the first ult right there, lands it onto BeryL, but it causes all of the members to be way too far up without the necessary vision. And then CuVee and Roach are just not there. They're not ready to have an actual team fight. And so the remaining members of GenG struggling to live. Roach doing fantastic amounts of damage on the Aatrox, but in the end, it's still a massive loss.
Yeah,
for
unfortunately,
GenG.
the rest of them just melted without being able to offer too much. Felt like, you know, taking down the Pyke was a good idea, but unfortunately, if you sacrifice almost your entire health bar and let a Kai'Sa free hit you, it's going to be bad news. DAMWON looking to take down Shelly, 18 minutes into the game, so I think he's going to be able to complete it in the couple of minutes that he does have. Kai'Sa there as well as they've switched around these lanes, but GenG continuing to push forward. Nuguri does have a Pyke in his back pocket, but I'm not sure whether that's going to be enough. 2 versus 3. Good slow comes in as the Fate's Call is gained. And getting that cooldown is actually great. It means that life can be more readily targeted by this DAMWON roster, and GenG has to back away.
And now in this stage of the game, the scary thing is that the members on DAMWON, I would argue, utilize the Infernal much better than GenG. So even though it's Infernal, DAMWON Gaming are getting better utility from it.
Yeah,
due to the nature of their team composition, even the Pyke.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the really scary thing. And even as the game goes forward, Pyke is going to start hitting his threshold where his ultimate becomes really scary, and the resets on it become even scarier because this is the new Pyke that hands over so much more gold.
Yeah. Shelly also trying to hand over some gold as well as this turret is taken down very low. BeryL looking for the stun, not going to get it as Shelly is taken down. But now that outer turret is very, very low, and DAMWON will be able to move towards getting all of that extra map control that that turret does give you. Bottom side of the map, Nuguri had pushed another wave into a turret. Now has himself a Vampiric Scepter, looks to be building towards Ravenous Hydra as his next item, and that will mean that Nuguri's push speed is going to be very, very high up against the Poppy. And DAMWON will be able to just walk over a couple of auto attacks there from Nuclear, and the minions finish it off. Pretty comfortable for DAMWON so far this game, but 200 gold is not a gigantic lead, as that back animation from Project Pyke is what? I mean, okay.
What is that?
I
mean, if he can just summon that thing, why even use your abilities?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It is perplexing.
It's really weird. You ever watch Dragon Ball and Shenron appears?
Yeah.
And you just wonder, where were you
yeah, exactly.
when all of this was going on?
It's like, why are you staying impartial, dude? You're a giant dragon. Just take Frieza down.
Oh, but he's not impartial, right? I'm not totally familiar with the canon, but
yeah,
I do believe
don't quite know it either.
he chooses a side or something at one point.
I
might be wrong, though.
A lot of things happen in Dragon Ball Z because there's
it's
just
still going.
so many episodes. Yeah, exactly.
Dragon Ball is it Super?
Yep.
Yeah, there's like 2 new...
I've actually heard some pretty good things about it, but I
I've
haven't
heard
actually
only
watched
good
any
things.
myself. Yeah,
yeah I've heard only good things. It's not
great.
on Netflix, is it?
I don't think so.
No, that's tragic.
I mean,
That's
after
probably why I don't
GT,
watch
like,
it.
no one liked GT. They were like, what
Well,
happened
GT
to Dragon
wasn't
Ball?
canon.
Is that the problem?
That is the problem.
Okay.
GT was not canon. I didn't like GT at all.
I mean,
Felt way too forced.
It seemed a little bit weird that they just needed to have as many forms of Super Saiyan as they could possibly get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely weird.
It was strange.
Who's your favorite Dragon Ball character?
Krillin. I liked spinning Sword Disc. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with liking Krillin? I thought it was funny.
This moment is eternalized. Atlas, okay.
All right. Is your favorite Tien? Is
No.
Tien your favorite? Because you're jealous of his ability to see. He's got
My
3 eyes.
favorite is probably, well, growing up it was Vegeta.
Uh-huh.
But I would probably have to say it's Majin Buu. He's adorable.
He is definitely adorable.
He is he turns things into
You
candy.
should definitely play more Zack. He has a Majin Buu skin.
No, that's Super Buu. He's evil.
Ah.
Talking about Majin Buu.
Okay, the cute, the one that goes around just eating stuff. Okay,
Right,
yeah,
and if
the
I wanted,
original.
if I wanted to like someone just for their skill level, probably
Yeah.
Hercule. You didn't watch the TV, or what?
I loved that saga. Cell Saga was so good, man.
I mean, Hercule beat Cell.
Yeah.
Turn on the TV sometime, buddy.
Yeah, it was all him. It was all him, I remember. I remember. All right, Roach going to be able to grab himself a tower towards the top side of the map. Not going to get ganked here, as that was his entire team moving on up to stop ShowMaker from being able to fight him at all. Just to check in, I mean, this game has been going for 22 minutes, and we still haven't spoken about ShowMaker taking the Ignite in the mid lane. He is 2-0-0. The Ignite pickup has helped, but it's not going to help them in their rotations around the map. It is DAMWON this time that only have one teleport. A couple on the side of Genji. BeryL moving back to the mid lane. He wants to get more of these deaths from below. You can see as this game has gone on, it's just been more and more money being put into the back pockets of DAMWON, and Ravenous Hydra is now completed. Steric's Gauge is now completed.
What
big pickups.
What are we in right now, Atlas? I believe that we're in the lull state.
Ah, we are? Okay.
We're in a brief lull state now. There's an attempt to push the middle turret here.
BeryL is underwater,
it's
theoretically.
repelled, so
Ping pong.
We're in a ping pong state.
I do want to warn you, we were, I did receive some feedback last night.
Yes.
On Twitter.
Okay.
Saying that we talk about the lull state too often.
That's really strange.
They are still huge fans of the broadcast, but maybe we talk about lull states too much. The unfortunate thing about that is that maybe it's because there are too many lull states.
What else could we...
Wait, whose fault is it, actually? As our Bone Skewer, not going to find any targets. As Canyon control ward down, Pierce lands, but he's pretty tanky at the moment.
Do you know, one of the most common misconceptions is people think that we're saying, you know the Twitch emote, lol?
Yeah,
LUL?
yeah.
They think that's what we're saying.
Yeah, it's not
really,
like a state of laughing. It's a state of not very much.
Well, depends.
Well, I mean, you just laughed then. So I guess, in theory, it's a lull state. It's a lull state.
Now, look, I mean, they've actually been playing ping
this
pong.
is not a lull. This is Infernal Chain's getting a hell of a lot of value, and a Callista picking up a kill. Maybe GenG goes straight to Baron. There's no jungler. This could be the killing fields, though. DAMWON, an opportunity, but it's not going to be a smite war. There is no smite available. Blue Trinket spotting for a flank as Life gets out of position, but flags and drags. This is a 24-minute Baron. It's not exactly the fastest. Yeah, exactly. Rend is going to be there for secure. DAMWON need to pull the trigger. Otherwise, they're just fighting against the Baron. In goes Nuguri. No stun is going to be available, though, as Life goes golden. Puts two people in a baby cage, but ShowMaker still doing battle on the back end. A lot of damage comes forward, but death from below gets nothing. And Genji are looking at a Baron and three dead members on the side of DAMWON. 4 if you include Canyon.
Okay, so the game just got turned completely on its head. Genji, this Baron will persist into the next Infernal.
I love that we were talking about lull states and Genji's like, oh, sorry. Instantly kill the jungler, take a Baron, kill everyone else, and now we'll push up and potentially break the base.
All right, well, for now, they just end up raising 2 mid-tier 1 turrets. They extend their gold lead to about 4,000, but there's minion waves to be collected by DAMWON. And let's just take a look at this. So Canyon feels compelled by some cosmic force to go over to the brush, even though they had a line of vision around the Baron.
Yep.
So it was imperative that he get that vision in the left river brush, and ended up losing his life. And then DAMWON, they come in here, and they take a team fight, but they can't do anything. As you see, BeryL, he tries to go in there with death from below to get something accomplished, and then everyone is flash for flash at the very end. And now we're going to have to see if DAMWON Gaming can team fight their way out of this situation. It's a little bit less than 4,000.
Yep, and you can see Canyon did 0 damage because he was just caught out and destroyed. That's how this all started. We have a minute and a half left on this Baron. The next Infernal going to be coming up in 40 seconds. GenG should be able to grab that one for themselves as well. Life just throwing flags at people, and you can see DAMWON desperate to find a fight. CuVee has a Thornmail and a hell of a lot of armor on top of it. He's not dying to a lot of these DAMWON members. but Nuclear does have his Nashor's Tooth completed. So finally, the damage range on DAMWON has gone beyond that of just basically pure physical damage, which is what they were repping earlier on. So 3 items for Kaiser is actually strong. However, are they just too far behind right now? 4,000 gold at 27 minutes is nothing to scoff at. And they're able to push forward here. Life can play really far up as well. The Fate's Call available once again from Ruler, who's bouncing around getting a lot of damage. Bone Skewer lands onto Life though, and they just don't really care. Inhibitor turret goes down, Inhibitor should follow as DWG. Not a lot of opportunities, and Roach has found Nuguri. Decent stun there as ShowMaker makes his way into the backline. A lot of AoE as his blade surging around. Takes down the Kalista, which is huge news as BeryL comes on in, trying to land that death from below. Doesn't quite get it, and GenG look to have turned this. Nuguri breaks the chains, but it's not going to be enough. Hookshot denied by the Steadfast Presence, and here we go. Game number 3 is upon us, LS, and GenG have a chance to bring us to that tiebreaker match.
And GenG, they're going to be able to raise these last 2 Nexus turrets, and like you're saying, Atlas, we're going to a game number 3.
And if GenG can do it after that, we are guaranteed at least 6 games of League of Legends. It is high value LCK potentially this evening, but GenG will have to do it again. They will have to find another win against DWG, but man, sometimes you draft well, sometimes you draft poorly, and other times your jungler gets caught out and you lose again.
Or during a lull state.
Yeah,
at that.
I know, and we were discussing the lull state as well. Maybe we need to discuss it more.
Maybe if we talk about it, it brings attention to it.
Yeah,
and they
there we go.
feel that we're talking about it. Don't know how, but, you know.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. Not entirely sure who to give the MVP to for this particular performance, because I was thinking more about DWG players rather than GenG players.
Yeah, think about it.
Oh, I'm going to give it to the old guy on the top side of the map.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my nomination. I think if you pick the champion that has absolutely nullified everyone on the opposition team, I think you need to get a bit of props for that, as I laned pretty well and was able to deny.
I was waiting for Roach in the mid lane.
I was waiting for mid Roach. Wow, she knew. Did she write that after he actually got subbed in?
I think that she wrote it after he was subbed.
I like to think that she did it first.
You like to think that she did it first?
Yeah, that's what I like.
Maybe GenG, as they're walking off stage, they saw that sign.
Yeah, maybe they
winked
like, you know what?
That doesn't even sound like a bad idea.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean,
ooh, is that the new GenG shirt?
That's actually really cute. It's very similar to the one that Arnold was wearing, the bright green.
Quite nice.
Super cool. I like that
As we
one.
take a look at this replay here, Vanguard's Edge comes in, CuVee pinning Canyon to the wall, ShowMaker getting a lot of damage there onto Ruler, and then you just take a look at BeryL. He ends up whiffing the death from below. Stopwatches are pretty good against Pike.
Yep.
As Nuguri just could not really get into this, and by the way, Aatrox nerfs, by the way. So.
Oh yeah.
Atlas, he doesn't have his revive.
Yeah.
He only heals. He only heals for more than he used to, but
yeah. Apparently, if you don't die, then you don't need a revive, is how that one works. As GenG were losing until they won. Thank you very much, Skara. That particular line will never get old, in my opinion. As you can see the exact moment in that gold graph where Canyon died.
Yeah. That
right
is pretty impressive how that tends to happen.
The really impressive thing is that GenG, they got that one pick, they moved to the Baron, they committed to it, committed to a team fight that they were able to win with a team fight composition that has a Poppy in it against everyone that wants to dash around. And as it turns out, Steadfast Presence, pretty good if you've got a whole lot of people that want to dash around, and that is why we're heading towards a game number 3. See whether DWG can fix up draft issues like that, or whether we're going to get some more Poppy. Who's going to be in the mid lane for GenG? We've had 4 people.
Kuzan.
There are a lot of fresh ones. We've got Rich or Kuzan that need to be coming in here. We'll find out after the break.
던져볼게.
나 카메라랑
뒤에 이래, 뒤에 이래.
나 카메라 좀 빨리
빨리 봐라. 이렐 노플. 이렐 노플.
보고 있어.
이렐 노플.
내가
이렐
이거
노플.
이거
사람 맞아.
천천히 맞아.
야, 사람 하이 노플. 사람 노플.
다행이다. 천천히 나 오른쪽 봐줘.
오른쪽 빠져. 가자.
나 못 돼. 맞아.
나이스. 쏘리.
맨날 생각해봐. 때도 높을.
이거 그냥 세드 노플이야 무조건 끝났어. 3판 더 잘할게. 쏘리. 고마워.
했어.
어.